And it's with a heavy heart that we will be saying ta-ta to physical media as of January 2028, thanks to Sony not publishing any more game discs, not manufacturing them. I've heard they're repurposing some of their manufacturing plants to make other things, so at least not everybody will lose their job. I suppose that's good. But no more games on disc. That people argue, your games haven't really been on disc for years. That is true, not entirely. Some games are, but most of them are just licensed discs. But I was actually willing to accept it. I know it's not the best, but it's better than the alternative. And why I say that is when you get a licensed disc, at least I could lend it to my family members or friends or whatever, colleagues at work, and they could put the disc in the machine and download it. The whole game wasn't tied to an account. Something happens to my account. Sure, I don't own all the data that's on these discs for these games, but I won't lose access to them the way that if I lose my account or I buy a digital game, it's tied to that account. Something happens to the account, gone. Can't share it. I don't know why Sony have stopped this game sharing thing. I even got my son to put his account on my PlayStation 5, signed in with his account, and I still couldn't play them. So they've seemed to have completely stopped that. Xbox not so much, but Xbox will be going the same road. Their next machine will be discless. A discless console. So people are like, well, why bother buying consoles and just go to PC? Now, there's a problem with this. The problem is that these new machines will be $1,000. The Steam machine is over that. Some cases it's closer to $1,500. I don't know what the equivalent in pounds would be, but too much. Still over the £1,000 mark anyway. So I don't have money to shell out on a new PS6. I also don't have money to shell out on a new PC either. So you're just screwed either way. There's no way around it. So you're going to have to either stick with your PS5, which I was planning on doing anyway. I was not planning on buying a PS6 or a Project Helix for Microsoft. Not happening. I saw what happened with this generation of machines. The very little exclusive content and the stuff that did come out. Some of it was good, and most of it was mediocre. So it's like, as much as I enjoyed some of the games, like Crackdown 3 was fun, but it's like that's not a system seller. South of Midnight was fun. Avowed was pretty good. I'm not chomping at the bit to play them. So the problem persists that the hardware is too expensive, no matter which way you slice it. Plus the Steam machine, someone bought one and it's already failed after 20 minutes. The red light of death. Looks like a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica that's just stopped mid-flash. Not good. And this is all down to AI, and big problem with that is that Microsoft put a lot of money in AI, so it's their fault. Wonderful. Wonderful! It's all fucked, I'm afraid. Sony have since come out and said that some games, or games that were published and released prior to 2028, will be able to get disc reruns. So I'm like, what? What do you mean? What does that really mean? I mean, are we going to put in orders? Do you need to do it yourself? They're going to charge you a premium for that. Will the PS6 have a detachable drive the way the PS5 Pro did? I heavily doubt it. No chance, at least not at launch. Maybe a couple of years down the road they'll go, well, maybe we can have a detachable drive and they'll have a new iteration of the machine and slim it down like they did with the PS5 and go, have your £100 drive to play your PS5 games. So, I mean, that's really all I really want it for at this point in time. Is so I can have all the at least let me save all the discs that I've already got without having to keep 2, 3, how many ever machines. It's just it's no good, and it's taking the magic right out of video games for me. I mean, that magic was already beginning to die off, but I think that's a lot to do with my age. The more you've been around the sun, the more times you've been around the block, as they say, the more the magic just seems to dissipate. It dies a little bit. It's a bit sad the way aging goes. You mellow, you slow, and things don't have the same appeal. But what I will be doing going forward is hanging on to all my physical games. and I'm using my backlog because like I said before, no plans on buying these next generation machines. They're going to be £1,000 dollars plus, and I just see no value in that. I also don't see the value in paying that for a PC either. I'm not paying £1,500 to play Call of Duty or the new FIFA. I don't play them anyway, but you know what I mean. I'm not paying that to play GTA 6. And this Sony news came hot on the heels of a Rockstar saying there'll be no disc for GTA 6. Wonderful. No discs at all. No discs for you or me. Everything's digital. And Sony have already shown what the digital market is like, how volatile it can be. Just removed 551 movies from people's libraries online because they ran out of licensing juice. And they're just like, nah, we'll just take it off. Not rather than going, look, you won't be able to buy these from now, but what you've already bought, you'll get to keep. I believe they did actually say that in an email back in 2021. You will be able to keep everything you bought. 5 years later, oh, sorry. That was just a wee thing to placate your arse and to keep you shoveling money into our gullets. I do think if a digital product is no longer available in any circumstance, I do think you should get a full refund. Because that's not your fault. They don't want to pay the licensing fee. They should be like, Sony running out of money. I highly, highly doubt it. Aye, so going forward, I think we should stop buying digital games at launch. I'm not comfortable paying 70, 80, 100, whatever, on a digital product. Partner, they're still going to be putting the boxes into retailers just with download codes in them, and I don't see the point in that either. So you're still going to have to pay the logistics of shipping empty boxes everywhere. That just what? Then you're going to have to make the box. You're going to have to print the code on a bit of paper. Why not just print a disc at that point? Why take the disc away at that stage? It can't be that much more expensive to make a fucking disc using the paper and the ink and the plastic to process the box, and then shove all those empty boxes in the back of a truck or a container, ship, plane, whatever. Ship them all over the world. I can't fathom that. I can't get round the thinking that we'll placate them with an empty box. The only saving grace with that is if you buy them at Amazon, or I get my stuff mostly from Shop 2, is that they will probably be discounted. I mean, I am going to get GTA 6. I do really want to play it. I know it's a code in the box, but Shop 2 have got it for 60 something, plus they had a 5% off, and they have them quite often. So I'm getting GTA 5 for 65 quid, not 100, not 90, not even 70. So in that saving grace, you will be able to get them slightly cheaper, but I think we need to start buying games day one, folks. And I think that's going to be a tough call, especially if this is your main hobby. It's my main fucking hobby, so I don't really want to give it up and scale it back, but we have to. We have to send a message. And I've seen people en masse. Well, I've seen about 40 accounts all cancelling their PS Plus, which is a good thing to do. That's what I would do if I had any. I don't have any of these subscription models. I've got Amazon Prime, share that with my mother. That's it. That's all I have. Don't have Netflix, don't have fucking Disney Plus. None of that keech. So it's a depressing old time. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll still get, some limited run of PS5 games after 2028, because we'll still have a disc drive for that. It's that lack of peripheral going forward. There's no point in doing it for PS6 games in digital, or limited run, sorry, because there'll be no way of playing them, no way of getting them into the system unless they're just going to sell a code in a box. What's the fucking point in that? Might as well just get it digitally. But it's the data they've got that they're saying that most people buy digital. I think probably more do buy digital than physical for convenience's sake. But I've heard that they're using, data from like DLCs, microtransactions, and PS Plus downloads which skews things a bit. Plus, the amount of indie games that don't get physical releases because the people just can't afford to manufacture that. I think it's skewed. I think it's said it's skewed deliberately to make it look like digital dominates more than it actually does. Hopefully, most people, including myself, I'll throw myself in here, that we stay strong in 2028. We, first of all, do not buy a PS6. I don't see any value. I actually wish I hadn't bought a PS5 at this point, because most of the games that I wanted to play that were exclusive, Sony homemade, own made games, most of them came out on the PS4. Like Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok, fucking Horizon Forbidden West. That all came out on PS4. Even the Godfall, remember that? Remember that game? The launch title can't be done on a PS4. A year later, oh, there's a PS4 version. You're like, so much for your PS5. Very, very disappointing. Same with Xbox. They're in the same boat. You're not getting off the hook. Alright, you've got Gears of War E-Day coming out as an exclusive, but I'd put a fucking stop to Fable coming out in PS5 and this new Halo. Even if I had to pay money, you've got more money than Sony and fucking Nintendo and everybody combined at Xbox. Serve your customers, you twats. Because you've not been doing that for at least the last 8 years. It's a sorry state. There'll be a crash coming. There'll be a video game crash coming. I can feel it in my bowels. With some kind, well, it already is. I mean, look at the amount of people that are getting laid off, hand over fist. Now we're talking about Arcane getting shut down and the Blade game getting cancelled. The fucking State of Decay 3 getting cancelled, even though they've just shown gameplay of that. That might no ever come out. I know it's just a rumour, but you know what? Sometimes these things do come true, and more often than not, it seems to be Compulsion Games getting shut the fuck down. Everton just. You can have a hit and die as a developer. Don't sell out to the corpos. Ninja Theory getting fucking shut down and all. So what? That Hellblade was not that good. It's one blip. Depressing. Sad. But inevitable. Inevitably. Jobby. Anyway, I think I've had enough. I've said my piece. I'm very disappointed. I am very saddened. And the magic has dwindled to but a fart. Good evening. Good night. Get it up, ye.